we didn't understand as the Democratic Alliance, how is it that out of 573 applicants in South Africa, our land, that the 20 that were the most suitable in the eyes of the minister were ANC cadres.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning once again. Welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news. When it is trending enough to be brought here, please do understand that I'm not a politician. I do not have deep knowledge in politics. However, I am a South African citizen who's also a voter, and I do believe that my views count when it comes to political affairs of our beautiful country. So when this saga first started, I was like, no, Dr. Nobuhle, Nkabane, the Minister of Higher Education, is about to face more consequences than any other minister that has appeared before the Portfolio Committee because of the department that she is leading. So at this moment, it looks bad. You know, the lies that are coming out, you just know that there are more lies that are still going to come out. And it talks to, you see, you don't need these things at the ANC. You see now what KARABO said. She said, it is for the ANC's best interest to appoint the right people because the ANC is leading the government of today. Do you understand? Why must you wait for the opposition to be telling you that if you are serious about leading this country? So that's why I'm saying it does not look good for the ANC. It does not look good, most importantly, for the Minister of Higher Education, because at this stage, she's messing up with a lot of things. She's messing up with the quote unquote the renewal of the ANC, how they're going to approach the voters once again to beg them to vote for them because they look like they're still messed up as they were. Nothing is changing. It talks to the incapable people that the ANC appoints. It talks to things like the ANC does not care about the future of South Africa. That's what it looks like. And also the ANC members that are in that the ANC members that are in that panel that the Minister of Higher Education is talking about, they are predominantly ANC leaders. Now, it shows that the panel is not independent. And if the panel is not independent, the chances are she was not advised, she was told who to put where and how. There was that is just not an advisory panel. Honestly, let us speak the truth. So now this whole thing is putting her into a serious mess, and they are about to lay criminal charges now. You see? Is the Ethics Committee, the Public Protector, and now they are saying criminal charges must be laid against the minister and the officials of the department for lying to Parliament. Anyway, guys, let me leave you watching. And this is a story that is unfolding. I just feel like there's too many layers that we have not even started combing within this whole saga of the Minister of Higher Education. And I just feel like she was put into trouble by the way in which the entire ANC does things. Anyway, guys, let me leave you watching. I'll see you right at the end with my closing commentary.
Good afternoon, Hugo. Thank you so much for having me, and good afternoon to your Newsroom Africa viewers. There are a number of breaches that we've cited within the letter that we sent to the Public Protector, as well as the supplementary annexures thereof. But at the heart of it, the contestation that the Democratic Alliance has to do with the breach of the minister's provisions within the Executive Members Ethics Act of 82 of 1998. We listed the number of provisions there, and because of not wanting to tank the integrity of the process itself, I won't be too specific on it. But at the heart of our contestation is that the minister lied to Parliament, and by extension lied to the people of South Africa, when one, she indicated that the people who served within her selection and evaluation panel that she claims before Parliament helped advise her and do the vetting process on the ultimate or the final recommendations of the appointment of board-seated chairpersons were independent. When the minister revealed to the public who these people are, it was very clear to see that there is no independence there, particularly because we've maintained that because according to the minister and the department, there were about 573 applications that were submitted. We wanted to understand how the 20 final appointments were geared the way they were. You'd note that predominantly the people who were in that list are ANC officials from KZN, who were former premier of KZN, for example, Dube there. You've had former MECs within KZN of ANC. We've had very close ties with the national chairperson of the ANC, Tatokwete Mandashe, the former vice advisor, and his son, amongst other ANC officials who some occupy HOD positions within the province and some occupy positions within district municipalities across Mpumalanga to the Northern Cape and Kimberley in particular, in Nkabane and so Plaiki. We didn't understand as the Democratic Alliance, how is it that out of 573 applicants in South Africa, our land, that the 20 that were the most suitable in the eyes of the minister were ANC cadres. So we then probed to understand the process that was followed thereafter. And so the names that she gave are one of the people who sat in the panel, are one advocate, Teramutau, who have since seen in the media that he refuses to say he sat in this panel, which the minister also indicated that he never...
Sorry, KARABO, how concerned are you by that specifically, that one of the individuals was supposed to have in the panel refuses, as you say, to confirm his participation?
Well, 100% concerned, Hugo, because this is the person that the minister communicated to have been the chairperson of this panel. Now, if the chairperson of this panel says he knows nothing about the composition of this panel, that he never attended any meeting of this, and therefore played absolutely no role in recommending to the minister, then it also is the basis upon which we've submitted a supplementary affidavit to the ethics complaint that we've also served. So you would know that we have two cases, to the ethics committee and one to the public protector, to say, if the chairperson of the person who you said chaired this says he knows nothing about it, then we're in bigger trouble than we know. And then you didn't just lie at first about the independence of this committee, but you also lied about the composition of this panel itself. So those are the things that we're probing. But beyond the ethics and the public protector cases that we have in committee, you would note that on behalf of the Democratic Alliance, I moved that all of these individuals who are in the panel, including the concealed individual that the minister says they're uncomfortable with revealing their identity, must come before Parliament to furnish us with the full detail of the minutes of the meetings that they had, if in any they actually had any meetings. And we also want to have the final report that was sent to the National Skills Authority, which would have given the final recommendation of these people. But it also doesn't end there. The committee has also mandated the chairperson of the portfolio committee to launch criminal charges against people who have lied before Parliament. That doesn't just look at the minister alone, but it also looks at the officials of the department who lied, because you know that part of the people who the minister claims have sat before this panel is Nkabane, who currently is the chief director for CETA coordination within the department, who in the meeting that we had on the 30th of May, when I, on behalf of the Democratic Alliance, asked him whether he knows anything about the composition of this panel and its work, he said he knows absolutely nothing. So he must come back to Parliament to tell us whether did he lie then, or is the minister lying about him now? And beyond him, we also still want Asisipo Solani, who's currently an advisor to the minister in his ministry, to come before us, because again, it begs the question of the independence of this panel, because we know that Asisipo Solani is not only a former SASCO leader, but is also an ANC Youth League in the Western Cape leader in the past, and his track record is pretty much black, green, and gold. We also have Nelisi.
Sorry, there are obviously a few issues that I'd like us to talk through, and one of those is why take this to the public protector instead of letting Parliament resolve it internally?
So there are two faults, right? So I would have indicated, Hugo, that as far as the ethics code of conduct for members of Parliament and the executive is concerned, it is important that the ethics committee is able to launch an investigation, get in hearing, and be able to conclude on the matter. But also, particularly because of the Executive Members Ethics Act 82 of 1998, that code of conduct is very important for the public protector to investigate, because the public protector has the muscle and the teeth to comb out and flex on behalf of South Africans. Here, we're not just dealing with a case of confusion as far as what the process was. The process that ultimately deals with how 19 billion rands of the state coffers is governed in South Africa. But it has to do with the role of members of the executive as far as them being accountable, as far as the transparency of the decisions that they take before the Republic of South Africa. The same Republic of South Africa that pays the salaries of the ministers, and the same Republic of South Africa that mandates members of parliament and the executive on how to best represent their interests. So it is not enough that the ethics committee will investigate. The public protector as a Chapter 9 institution must also play their role in making sure that we tighten our bolts as far as accountability and wrongdoing here is concerned. You would know, Hugo, that it is not up to the minister and her imaginary panel if it exists, because there are questions since the chairperson is now arguing the case. It's not up to them to decide whether or not they're going to come clean and be transparent before Parliament and by extension the people. It is up to Parliament to dictate the terms of accountability. We would be having a different conversation if we were dealing with a state security agency or a South African version of the FBI and the CIA, which are a subject of secret. But the bottom line is SETA appointments, SETA board chairperson appointments are important and are a matter of public record, and we can't have those being politically manipulated, and we certainly cannot have those people being favored towards the advances of cadre deployment or a particular political party in its say. While SETAs play an important role as far as the skills and the development of young people who depend on the optimal functioning of SETAs do not only get those skills and development to fairly compete for job opportunities, but to ultimately be able to take their families out of the plunges of poverty, but to be able to give their families the dignity and the integrity of being able to put food on the table.
Now, you've talked about certain institutions within South Africa that might be sworn to secrecy. In this instance, the Department of Higher Education, as you suggest, isn't. Now, the minister has said she's uncomfortable revealing the names of some members of the panel. How concerned are you regarding this?
Discomfort is not a valid reason to give for not wanting to come clean and be transparent and be held accountable. And Parliament has sought legal advice within the parliamentary legal team on whether or not this is a valid reason. And the parliamentary advice has come back to say that is simply not a reason. If you want to be comfortable and not want to be held accountable or conduct your affairs transparently, then you shouldn't even be in government to begin with. Then you should go run your own business somewhere in the private sector where nobody gets to probe the work. But for as long as your salary is paid by the taxes of the people of South Africa, for as long as the seat that you occupy is sanctioned or there on the basis of the votes of the people of South Africa and their mandate, then you must be able to account to Parliament. You must be able to account to the people of South Africa on what decisions you're taking about their lives, about the lives of their children, about the lives of their money, and about the lives of their future.
So, KARABO, is the DA calling for the minister's suspension or resignation, or both?
We haven't gotten there yet. We want to hear the outcomes of the public protector's investigation, but most before the public protector, hear the outcomes of the ethics committee, because we would note that in the same case with Simelane, we waited to hear what the ethics committee's resolution was post the hearing, and from there with the facts we'll take the steps moving forward. But as far as public sentiment right now, even outside of the ethics ruling is concerned, people are judging the minister's capacity, integrity, to lead South Africans, and that in itself says a lot.
And finally, what impact do these governance failures have on skills development and the SETA system?
It has a very dire, absolutely dire impact, because what we want is to make sure that the skills that is transferred and the skills and the development that are transferred towards young people are those that match market needs, are those what match economic desire, so that we're able to see more and more young people placed in job opportunities that are sustainable for themselves, with the ultimate goal of growing our economy and alleviating poverty. So when you have people that are employed or deployed or appointed in the basis of such shady ways, then it questions the government of the day, particularly the ANC's interest as far as making sure that we appoint the best suitable candidates to not only upskill young people, to develop them, give them opportunities for jobs, and make sure that they're able to put food on the table for themselves and their families and alleviate poverty.
If you watched up to here, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching my videos. Kindly leave your comments in the comment section. I'm looking forward to reading those. And if time allows me, I'm going to respond. But if it doesn't, I'm going to take time to react so that you know that I appreciate your participation in my channel. I'll be seeing you in my next upload. Do have yourself a gorgeous Sunday.